Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. In this video, we are reviewing books that came out from Marvel Comics, Marvel Now, the week of July 9th, 2014. And I gotta start with this one. Spider-Man, the 100th anniversary issue. What did I read? Because when I open this book, I'm expecting to read something, you know, new.
Interesting.
Great Power, Part 8 of 8.
It was...
Part 8 of 8.
Shouldn't that be part 1 of 8?
Yeah. That you'd think that, right? No. As a matter of fact, it's treated like an 8th issue. You are thrown right into the story. However, there was in the last issue. It sets you right up for what's going on in this book. However, all I see is Eddie Brock shot dead, Peter Parker in his shorts, and Kingpin is the one that developed the Venom symbiote, and the rest of the book is all about Kingpin chasing after Pete through the entire city, controlling all the tech, because the Venom suit apparently can control the tech. Beautiful artwork. Then Pete gets a stick, lights it on fire, and stabs Venom, Kingpin, and that's how he beats Kingpin in the end.
What?
I feel like I was thrown into a story I haven't been reading at all, which I haven't. The story was stupid.
That was unnecessary.
It was dumb. So Kingpin
Why
was
use
Venom.
web shooters?
He didn't have him. He didn't even have his costume.
Oh.
This was a very, very, very confusing and bad 100th anniversary issue. What did I read? You feel like you were thrown into the story at the very end. You have no idea what happened in the beginning and the middle. All you know is what happened through the synopsis of the story. And Kingpin is so powerful. Venom is so powerful with the ability to go into tech and everything now. And then in one page, Pete makes a stick with fire and stabs Venom and he wins.
But how does this all get to it? Like, the whole thing, it just...
And this is why, after this week's X-Men 100th anniversary issue, I will not be buying any more 100th anniversary issues at all. I already skipped over the Avengers that are coming out in 2 weeks. It's just not worth it anymore at this point.
The Superior Foes of Spider-Man, issue number 13.
Still not canceled.
No, it's not.
I know, I'm just saying, it's still not canceled. That's their slogan right now.
Right. In a way, it goes to, basically in this issue, the Mach 7, or Abner, I guess his name is, finds out about what Boomerang is doing and what's going on. And he goes to the scene and then, you know, sees what's happening and everything. So, yeah, here's some artwork, by the way, which is really nice artwork. And then there's this whole thing of where the Chameleon was keeping Desmond like kidnapped and stuff like that, with Mr. Owl finding out about the whole painting thing. Meanwhile, down in the sewers we have Moth and I can't remember what his name was. Like, basically those two met Boomerang in the sewer, and Shocker still has the head of Silvermane, my mistake, where Hammerhead is there, and if he doesn't handle the head, they're going to shoot him. And Shocker's so out of character in this. Like, he's so scared and everything, and it's not like the Shocker, you know, like, it's like a little bit out of character, sort of. So they find a place where they can stay, so that way Hammerhead doesn't find them. You know, because he's scared that Hammerhead's going to find him and everything. And in the meantime, guess what? The hideout is where Boomerang is. And from what I remember, didn't Boomerang backstab Shocker issues back? Remember that whole truck thing? Irony. Big irony. And there are other stuff that I left out that you should definitely check out as well. With the painting, Mr. Owl and all that other stuff. Average. Pretty good. Yet not canceled still.
Amazing Spider-Man 1.3 Learning to Crawl continues. I believe there's only an issue or two left of this. This issue, Aunt May, in the last issue, went into Pete's room. And she was startled. And I already could tell you, I knew it wasn't the Spider-Man costume that she saw. Pete walks in and she has the envelope of money, which Pete got from Clash, from the fight, which she basically covers over. And then she questions about the chemicals on his desk, and he says he's setting up for a science fair that's going on. And hey, by the way, guess what? The rest of the book all takes place at that science fair. So Clash decides, hey, I'm going to show my suit off and unmask in front of everybody. So he goes off, he puts on the costume, and Pete thinks that this guy's going to cause trouble, because remember, this is the first kind of moment of Spider-Man's career. So he jumps into Spider-Man mode, and then the fight breaks out between Spider-Man and Clash. That was completely and utterly unnecessary. In the end, Spider-Man ends up saving everybody, including Aunt May, but Aunt May thinks that Spider-Man's a monster. And Pete's like, but I'm saving you. She's like, you're a monster. You're the reason why this is going on. And then we find out that basically Clayton can't tell everybody that he's Clash, because now basically Clash is going to be as unpopular as Spider-Man. And then at the end of the issue, Peter Parker swears never to be Spider-Man again because Aunt May thinks Spider-Man is a monster. We saw that before.
Oh yeah, we have. I'm just saying, like saying, yeah, we've seen that before. So
straightforward. Learning to Crawl is again something that's extra for Spider-Man fans like myself, like Michael, who are fans of the character. Do you have to read it? No. Is it an enjoyable read? Yes. And it's very nice to see an Alex Ross cover that is not $100 and something.
Along with seeing Peter Parker back as Spider-Man.
Captain Marvel issue 5. This book I question a lot. Captain Marvel ends up losing Tick, who is hiding out in one of the space pirates' ships. She goes back to the planet, which she finds out what the pirates want, and it's this vibranium that's deep down in the planet that she's there to protect. And everybody who's getting sick isn't getting sick because the planet's poisoned. They're getting sick from vibranium poisoning. And basically Jason wants his vibranium from the pirates. The guy at first is like, so my men were killed. I want some fixes. He's like, no, I want what's mine now. And I hate him so much. Let's put it that way. Then he decides he's going to invade the planet 3 days before he's supposed to. What was she? The Queen decides that they're leaving. If you remember in the last issue, she agreed to anything Jason wanted. So she's preparing to leave. Captain Marvel shows up and says, "No, you can't. We found out everything. We found out why they want your planet and everything like that." And after hearing everything out, she looks like, okay, you know what? The evacuation's off. Issue the orders. We're going to treat all the people for vibranium poisoning, and we're going to go confront Jason. They walk outside, and there's a ship. Because Jason already ordered the attack 3 days early. I hate this girl from the Spartax army. But Captain Marvel is ready to confront them, and then the Madam President says, no, you know what? No. We surrender. you were ordered to, the Avengers already ordered you to go meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Your work is done here. She walks off, but pissed off. And then guess what? She doesn't even really walk off because she turns around and comes right back. And guess what she's faced with? She's like, if anybody wants this planet, they have to go through me. And well, let's just say there's a lot of people that are coming for that planet. So it's going to be very
right for us.
It's going to be very interesting to see the next issue. But the Madam President's very easily swayed back and forth. First, she was doing what Jason wanted. Then she turned around and said no because she found out what he really wanted. And then she turned around and surrendered again anyway. Man, I wouldn't want that as a Madam President, I'll tell you what.
Not like that.
That's just me. Now we're getting into the X books. All New X-Men issue 29. Jean Grey tricks Mr. Charles Xavier Jr. for a brief moment. X-23 comes in with a very, very, very painfully crippling blow. And it kind of breaks Xavier's concentration enough that the Cuckoos and Jean break free of his control, and they kind of break his control over everyone, including the future X-Men. So the future X-Men kind of snap out of it, and they're like, what's going on? Deadpool, Beast, everybody was under young Xavier's control, except, of course, for whatever his name was. I forgot his name. Wow, I can't believe I forgot his name of all things. Forgot the name. I forgot his name. Well, I'll find out somewhere in the book. But anyway, he gains control again of the future X-Men as well as the present X-Men and wants them all to kill each other. However, Jean breaks the connection, and basically they want to shut down Xavier permanently. However, they don't get a chance to because he disappears. But Maggie, along with everybody, is Reyes, by the way, except Reyes is now, you know, kind of in shock that they're in the past and they were basically under the control of this crazy person. Then we find out that Scorn also was just a puppet. No Scorn at all. So, in the end, Xavier Jr. gets put in jail. The future X-Men go back to the future.
Thank God.
And Xavier Jr. ends up sending himself a message years later, and that's the letter we saw when we were looking back in time. However, I hope that they don't come back again because it kind of kills the whole purpose.
No
anyway,
time travel.
In the present day, we have Angel kind of sweetening up with Laura, and they drive off to this kind of bar. I love how Angel made a Superman reference, by the way. Superman movie reference. So it's nice to know that DC Comics is a movie franchise in the Marvel U. And look at that! Another X-Men that Laura is making out with. Since Cyclops is gone, Laura's making out with Angel now. Oh boy. Looking forward to the next issue. Alright? It was a really nice way to end the whole future Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but I don't know about the next issue.
Book of the Week goes to 2 Months to Die and Wolverine issue number 10. The setup of now Wolverine going after Sabretooth as his objective to save the two who have been kidnapped. So basically, like, everyone's like, you know, like mad at Wolverine for like what he did, like his actions and stuff like that, and he's like saying, you know, look, I understand what I've done in the past was just, you know, all, you know, this and that, but I'm a changed man now, and I was hurt, lost, lashing out, but no more. I have turned over a new leaf, basically. So he tells that to Storm, and then it goes to the New York base where Sabretooth and Mystique are talking about how they want to take over New York City and how Logan will, like he's in this alone. And Wolverine is just apologizing one by one to everybody. By the way, here's some nice, amazing artwork in the comic book. And they're just fighting off against that, and this guy right here,
Harold.
Yeah, Harold is actually a vampire in this comic book, which he admitted to everyone. Even Thor makes an appearance and helps him out, but with that and with everything else...
Oh, Nick Fury.
Yeah. Nick Fury, along with the others, are going to help Wolverine fight Sabretooth, so Wolverine is not going to go empty-handed because he has a team that's going to help him out. So, yeah, so Sabretooth is... he's just really trying to say that, you know, he Sabretooth wants to let evolution start again by letting losers die and everything. And let's just say Sabretooth is going to torture the two people that are in the prison even more. And let's hope that Logan can make it on time because time's ticking. And let's just hope, like I said before, Wolverine gets there. But it's great to see that Wolverine said that he's a changed man, to actually admit it, which is really something else for his character, but in a good way.
Daredevil issue 5. For those of you that have been wondering, since the second volume started for Daredevil, what happened to Foggy, it's all explained here. Ever since Matt Murdock came out and says, yes, I'm Daredevil, that puts a gigantic target on Foggy. And Foggy not only has a target, but he also has cancer. And we have Ant-Man who's in there fighting off the cancer cells, which is kind of funny. We see that going on. But we have Daredevil trying to convince Foggy that, hey, maybe you should, you know, lay low for a bit, pretend to be dead. Then Leapfrog shows up and takes Foggy prisoner, or as a captive in his Leapfrog machine thing. And Daredevil fights Leapfrog. Leapfrog ends up having a bomb inside of his machine, and Matt kind of figures out, hey, I have an idea. He has Foggy pilot the machine up into the sky so this way when it explodes it doesn't blow up the city. And everybody thinks Foggy died. However, he didn't. Thanks to Ant-Man, Foggy was shrunk down to a microbe and didn't feel a thing. However, the world believes that Foggy's dead. And that's why. Because Daredevil doesn't want him to have a target on his head. Let's see how long this is going to last. But all in all, it was a really great issue, though. But I don't think Foggy's going to remain dead forever. I mean, there's really... This isn't like Witness Protection where, you know, you're covered. This is Matt Murdock and Kristen taking care of Foggy while he's fighting cancer. It was a really good issue, though. I really liked it. Loved the artwork. And like I said, I always recommend Daredevil every single month it comes out. Original Sin tie-ins.
Yep. And this was kind of a disappointment in All New Invaders issue number 7.
Then you're going to hate issue number 8 from now in 2 weeks.
This issue was... First of all, the dialogue was really heavy. And to be honest, it was just all about Jim Hammond finding out about Radiance. You know, like more information about what happened... Oh, I'm sorry, Ryoko, my mistake. But she's known as Radiance. And he's just like saying about the whole thing about Namor and what happened during the whole World War with the Japanese bombs and everything. Artwork is good though, I will say that. But it was just like so much dialogue and like it was just relating to that. Of what happened during that they could have prevented this from happening with Gwenny Lou that was there. Along with the other All New Invaders teams, Bucky, Captain America, etc. And how they were fighting against Namor as well. Because of what happened between Lou and Namor. And basically it was just all about the atom bomb and just about Namor. That's what the whole thing was just completely about. And he was really explaining that to the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. And
Coulson?
Well, not Coulson. It was, he went by another name.
Yeah, don't worry about his name. It's not important.
Anyway, yeah. He told it to him, and I don't know. first of all, it had nothing to do with Original Sin at all.
It's a weird cover too, by the way.
And it's a weird cover, so I don't know. If issue 8, and if it starts to go a little bit downhill, then I'm gonna have to drop it because it was going well, and now it's like going the uh-oh route. Yeah, I call it the uh-oh route.
Fantastic Four issue 7 was another book that was just straightforward, super fast to read, and I could explain it all in less than a minute. We find out that Johnny Storm screwed up Reed's attempt at fixing the Thing, and during Original Sin, guess what? The Thing saw Johnny's memory. It turns out because Johnny sat in the chair in the last issue, he screwed up the calibrations, and it's his fault that the Thing remained the Thing. Basically, Reed could have cured the Thing right there and then, but because of what Johnny did, he couldn't, and he didn't know, so he didn't recalibrate the machine. The machine was destroyed, and Thing blames Johnny for, you know, him still being the Thing. And he never wants to talk to Johnny again, and he walks off. He's at a bar, he's like, you know, I should forgive him, you know, but every time I think about it, I could have had all this time with Alicia, you know, normally. And then Alicia actually calls him, and she's in trouble. So Thing runs off. He can't call anybody right now, except the one person he really doesn't want to, and that's Reed. And he tells Reed that Alicia's in danger, he tells him where to go. Reed shows up, but it turns out the Thing showed up before him. And Ben and the Puppet Master and Alicia's father are behind this metal door. Apparently Alicia's father is the Puppet Master. And Reed comes through the door, and I'm leaving the last page for next time, but we all know what's coming. But that was a shocking final page, but it's, you got the Thing going, I didn't do it. So that's definitely going to lead into some very interesting... I thought this was yours.
I thought you said you were reading it.
Oh, okay. Well, Thor and Loki, the 10th Realm, issue 1. Thor finds out he has a sister, and same thing. He goes to the All-Mother, who admits, or actually we get the backup story on how, what do you call, what's her name? Angela came to be, and how the war between Odin and Asgard and the 10th Realm happened, and then Odin basically sealed the 10th Realm away. And then Thor tells him, no, actually, your daughter, my sister, lives. And him and Loki actually travel to the 10th Realm. This is some weird artwork, I will say that. And it leaves off with Loki, future Loki, the older Loki, which you remember, wanting to meet his sister, to be continued.
How did I know? How did I know the future Loki was going to be part of this?
It's pretty straightforward. I don't want to give away the background story, but if you're interested in knowing what happened, why Angela was secret, and why we didn't know anything about the 10th Realm until now, it's all explained in this book. I thought you read this, by the way. This was supposed to be yours.
Oh, you didn't give it to me. You said you wanted to look into it. So that's what I heard.
Lucky for you, I read it also.
Alright. A surprisingly good comic, DeadPool issue number 31, Original Sin. But I am still going to drop it when Original Sin is over.
I figured you were.
But this was good, surprisingly. In DeadPool, we find out who Ellis is, and this is what she looks like, by the way. Who's claimed to be Deadpool's daughter and everything. And there's just a whole big conversation where Emily talks with Utler about, you know, she's investigating a missing person who is, you know, what she's doing and everything. Meanwhile, Deadpool and Dazzler are still on their whole vampire hunting madness and stuff like that, where Dracula's part of it in that sort of way, and lots of blood and stuff like that. And Ellis really, she's a little bit of a fighter, but Emily really gets them pretty good, let's just say that way, along with her being a robotic form, which we all saw that and know why she's a robot. And then there was just a whole thing where Deadpool gets a message from Emily.
Sorry about that. Apparently the battery decided to die. So, yeah. Mike, continue with Deadpool.
About Yeah, Deadpool issue number 31. So, I don't know where it cut off, but basically I was at the part where Deadpool and Dazzler were doing the whole vampire hunting and stuff like that, and Emily was doing all the fighting and everything, and we saw her in her robotic form, which we all knew what happened then. And then Deadpool gets a message going to he needs to be in like Chicago because Ella is there, and let's just say that Deadpool is going to to see her and everything. So I don't know how that's in original sin related, unless there was like one little part of it, but I'm really not sure how it's original sin related.
Avengers 32, Cap and Black Widow and oh god, why did the name leave me? The name was with me until this very moment. Starbrand are traveling even further forward into the future, and guess who they meet up with? Reed Richards' son, Franklin Richards, who actually tells them everything that's gone on, and we find out what Black Widow's future self asked in return, and we find out that it was for Franklin to save her, and he did. They did, and Franklin has a long talk with Captain America. Apparently, here's the Avenger world, by the way, and Cap wants to know how to stop the, Tony Stark and the new Avengers, the Illuminati, from doing what they're doing with the incursions. And Franklin says, what do you want, to stop them or you want to stop the events? And he's like, the new Avengers are going to fail. And they're going to fail because they're opposed by you. So basically he says it's Captain America's fault that the new Avengers are failing, and the incursions continue until there's problems because Captain America was fighting them. And he says, you remember what Hawkeye told you in the beginning? He's like, yeah, you should ignore it. But you probably won't because everything's said already. But he was about to say about all the deaths and everything that happened, and Cap's like, get back to everything dies, and Franklin's like, I'm sorry, Cap. No, we're out of time. And Cap goes forward in time again, and this time Black Widow and Starbrand leave, and he's the last one now, and he's 51,028 years plus from the betrayal. Everything is pointing that Captain America is going to be fighting this whole problem that's going to be going on. There's so many events, guys, that are going to be coming in the coming year. I am warning all of you guys now. Pick your battles. Pick your events. After Original Sin, Axis isn't even waiting. Axis is going to be starting immediately. In the Avengers and New Avengers title, we're going to be getting the, oh god, what is it called? Futures Destruction or something like that. But it involves the incursions, and it jumps into the future, both books, and then the rest of the Marvel books lead into it. Pick your events wisely, because already we're getting Axis, which, like I said, it's going to be at the end of this year, going into the beginning of next year, and then we have this whole Futures End happening in Marvel as well. So pick your events, because there's a lot of tie-ins that are going to be for both series. So pick which one you want and grab it. I'm probably going to lean towards Axis, and I'm going to probably drop Avengers for now, since I haven't been reading New Avengers anyway. So I'll probably drop Avengers until this whole event with the Avenger books is done.
This was almost my book of the week, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu issue number 3, which is still an exciting, adventurous book. We get where Shang meets up finally with, I believe, was it White Dragon? Or?
Yes, White Dragon.
Yeah, the White Dragon, yeah. And he's come for answers of, the death of what happened.
With the
I'm trying to remember what her name was at that. But anyway, he fights off against his minions along with the cavalry who came in. And don't get me started. You're with yours too. So with the cavalry that helps save Shang, he still goes after White Dragon. His friend over there, the Chinese.
Now you switch to
Skull Crusher.
Skull Crusher.
Are you done now?
Yes.
So now you're making me think of. They have a little bit of a talk, and if you want to find out what it is, you can read this. Basically, it's about White Dragon and about what happened still in the past. Liko, that's what her name was. So yeah, Shang-Chi and White Dragon, they have an amazing fight scene. The artwork's really astounding.
They fight at their
really,
kung fu.
You know, and didn't say because I'm keeping myself, you know. We have someone who actually makes an appearance in this, and get ready for the spoiler alert.
Midnight
Sun makes an appearance, and he decapitates White Dragon. Yeah.
Oh.
So things are getting a little bit, including he decapitates the other guy, so Shang-Chi is the only one left non-decapitated. So we're going to find out what happens in the next issue. However, to get to White Dragon, find out answers, I guess. But it was also adventurous at the same time to read. That's it.
Alright, final book of the week, Spider-Man 2099, issue number 1. Very good issue, actually. I enjoyed it. I did really enjoy this issue. So it starts off with this guy that comes from the year 2211. So it's kind of like the Terminator. And he works for an organization called... Well, first of all, Miguel gets his own apartment finally, and actually, one of the maintenance people in his apartment, the girl he saved in that issue where there was a little segment for Spider-Man 2099 leading into this.
Yeah.
What was her name? Is her name important right now?
That's your call.
Tempest.
Okay, Tempest.
So he jumps into Spider-Man 2099 mode, and he heads towards Alchemax, where this guy is at. And he's looking for Spider-Man from 2099 because Spider-Man from 2099 is causing a problem in the timeline. He has to destroy him because he's in the wrong time and he is messing up the timeline. He finds out where he is. Actually, it was completely by luck because the security guard just sent him to the suite because he's like, I don't get paid enough for this. So Miguel comes face to face with this guy who works for... Eventually he's going to say who he works for. He said it over here, I think. Oh, Totem. Which is Temporal Oversight Team Eliminating Mistakes. He's from the year 2211. And he's there to destroy Spider-Man 2099 because he screws up the timeline. The rest of the book is him fighting this guy. I forgot. I can't believe his name is completely left me. But anyway, he breaks into Liz Allen's office at some point. And so does this guy. And I love it because this is dropping hints for the future of this book. He goes, wait, is that Elizabeth Allen? He's like, yeah, why? He's like, I'll make you an offer. She already had her son, right? And he's like, yeah. One of the main reasons you need to be removed from from this time and place involves things you do with her. It's bending the law slightly, but if you allow me to destroy her, then I can make case to leave you be. So basically, Liz is going to do things with Spider-Man 2099 that screw up the timeline. And we find out what that is towards the end of the book. So Spider-Man's like, yeah, okay, whatever, go ahead, kill her. He gets ready to shoot her. Spider-Man 2099 yanks the gun right to the other guy, and he erases himself, basically. So what he meant was, by the end of this issue, Liz Allen figures out that somebody in her employ is Spider-Man 2099. And she's going to figure out who that person is and then use him to do superheroing for her, and this is leading into the problems that are going to be happening with Miguel, and hopefully, see, Miguel's there to kind of screw up what's going to be happening in the future where Alchemax kind of destroys New York.
But it's good to see a Spider-Man 2099 issue back.
And his grandfather's an ass. I hate him so much, Miguel's grandfather, the present day guy. This was a really good book. I will be coming back for the next issue. Story's good. I'm not going to say it's amazingly spectacular, oh my god, but the artwork's good, the story's good. It's enough to make me say, hey, I'm coming back to read the next issue. Also, I am a fan of Spider-Man 2099. So, we didn't get a lot of what the sprock or what the frock or any of that nonsense. We got it once. One word. That was it. And then the rest of the book was just straightforward cool. I enjoyed it. I left out a lot of stuff. Really good dialogue from Miguel in this book. I would highly recommend you guys check out Spider-Man 2099 issue number 1. And with that, that's it for this review, guys. Don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, and Zone4Podcast.com. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Guys, comments down below. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, your recommendations, what you thought of any of the books we talked about here or books we didn't talk about here. Let us know, and your comments will be heard this Friday on the weekly Comic Book Haul. So until next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys really soon in the next review.
Bye, everyone.